question before the Senate today was, is it constitutional to hold an impeachment trial for a former president? Donald Trump's lawyers argued today that it's not constitutional to do that. They say the Constitution says an impeachment trial can only be held to remove a current president from office. And so if you're not a current president, the proceedings can't even be convened. One of the House impeachment managers, though, pointed out one specific and awkward problem with that argument from President Trump's defense team.
In President Trump's legal trial brief, 75-page brief, they struggled to find any professors to support their position. They did cite one professor, though. Professor Kalt is an expert in this field, who they claimed agreed with them that the only purpose of impeachment is removal. Professor Kalt's position, which they had to have known because it's in the article that they cite in the brief, is that removal is, quote, not the sole end of impeachment. Actually, in that same article, he describes the view advocated by President Trump's lawyers as having deep flaws. And again, you do not have to take my word for it. You can take Professor Kalt's word for it, the professor they cited in their brief filed yesterday, because he tweeted about it. And on the screen here, this is what he had to say. I'm not going to read through it in great detail. I'll just simply give you the highlights. President Trump's brief cites my 2001 article on late impeachment a lot, but in several places, they misrepresent what I wrote quite badly. There are multiple examples of such flat-out misrepresentations. They didn't have to be disingenuous and misleading like this.
House impeachment managers today made their case that it is entirely constitutional to try a former president in the Senate. We knew they would do that. We knew in advance that was their task today. We didn't necessarily expect that they would get agreement on that today from the constitutional scholar that Donald Trump's defense team cited in its arguments on the opposite side. The arguments from the House impeachment managers apparently won today. Well, they won the day today. The vote was 56-44 in favor of going ahead with the trial. 6 Republicans sided with all the Democrats to get those 56 votes in favor. That vote has immediate implications for the case against President Trump. It means the trial will go forward. Did the Senate also make a little bit of history today in that vote that they just took when they affirmed by 56 votes that a former president can be tried in the Senate on impeachment charges? Does that mean for the constitutional scholars who study this stuff that this is now at all a more settled question now that the Senate has looked at the issue and weighed in on a binding vote? Joining us now is Professor Brian Kalt. He's a Michigan State University law professor. His work on the constitutionality of the impeachment of former federal officials is cited by former President Trump's defense team. Professor Kalt has said that they misrepresented what he wrote, quote, quite badly. Professor Kalt, it's a real pleasure to have you with us tonight. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me.
So I've read some of your scholarship on the matter, and it's clear that, at least from my non-lawyer's layman's take on it, that you do believe that late impeachability is a thing that can be done, but you sort of engaged with both sides of the argument, laid out what reasonable people might argue on both sides of that case, and it seems like that's maybe where the president's defense team cherry-picked or got things wrong in a way that misrepresented your take. Is that a fair way to understand it?
Yeah. I mean, the House managers cited my work even more than Trump's lawyers did. The article, I wrote it in 2001 before there was an actual case, and I wanted to lay out all the evidence. And it was 124 pages long. So all the evidence on both sides, there was plenty for both sides to look at there. The problem was Trump's lawyers took things where I said, well, you could argue this. Here's why that's wrong. And they just took that first part. You could argue this and then cited me as though I agreed with that, when really what I was doing was explaining why that was wrong.
Looking at a whole at the two sets of arguments that were made today over these 3+ hours of argument on both sides of this issue, what did you think? Did you think that the House impeachment managers put forward superior constitutional arguments to those of Trump's team, or vice versa? How did you feel about how they argued this, given your expertise in the subject?
I thought their arguments were stronger. I I agree because that's what I said in my 2001 article, but I also think that they engaged in the evidence much more effectively. Instead of saying, it's simple, look at the text, it says X, and just sort of assuming the conclusion, they dug into it. There are two sides to the argument, and they presented their side, I thought, much more effectively than Trump's lawyers presented the other side. On the other hand, it was sort of a foregone conclusion how the vote would go other than Senator Cassidy, so I'm not sure how much it really mattered.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.